Hi there. Thank you so much for joining us for another informative edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Adrian Atkinson. We have a lot lined up just for you, starting with the news of the day. You can't afford to miss any of it, so stick around.
Secondary students, it's time to get creative for the JIS Heritage Poster Competition 2024. Whether you're a whiz with digital design or love to illustrate, this is your chance to shine. Design a poster using this year's exciting theme, Out of Many, One People. Prizes are up for grabs, so bring your A-game. Submit your masterpiece between September 2 and October 31. For all the details and the guidelines, head to jis.gov.jm. Don't miss out. Show Jamaica your talent and create something amazing.
Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan, and this is your JIS News for Monday, October 7, 2024. A $172.7 million contract has been signed for the establishment of the Hanover Justice Center at Sandy Bay in the parish. The agreement was signed on Friday at the Ministry of Justice's Constant Spring Road headquarters. Justice Minister Delroy Chuck says the facility will serve as a model for a network of similar centers across the island.
We do have justice centers in all 14 parishes, but they're not really what we want. We have used, post office space or in a space we can find to put up a justice center, but eventually we want some model justice centers.
The close to 7,000 square foot building will feature office spaces for various Ministry of Justice social services, including child diversion and restorative justice, as well as offices for the custos and mediation services. The facility will also ensure accessibility for individuals with disabilities. Minister Chuck says the facility forms a critical part of the island's governance structure.
Justice as a commodity is as important as health, education, any other governance issue. Because, as they say, without justice, you won't have peace. And as minister and as a member of this government going forward, we intend that access to justice should be easy. And not only easy, but when you get the access to justice, you can have justice delivered in a very timely manner.
The construction of the Hanover Justice Center is expected to be completed next September. The Education Transformation Oversight Committee, ETOC, is reporting that work has started on 136 recommendations in the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission report. The update was shared by ETOC Chairman Dr. Adrian Stokes during a press conference on Thursday. According to Dr. Stokes, of the 136 active recommendations targeted for implementation, 7 have been finalized, 128 are in progress, and 1 lagging.
The lagging initiative is the Jamaica Teaching Council bill, which when the minister speaks, she will add a little bit more context as to the delay there. But suffice to say, that bill is still going through the various parliamentary review procedures before it is finalized. Overall, ETOC sees this as good progress being made with implementation.
Among the finalized initiatives are the structural review of the National Council on Education, the preparation and dissemination of inspection reports by the National Education Inspectorate, as well as an institutional review of the Early Childhood Commission. Other recommendations closed include making public reports on school financials, training of early childhood practitioners and TVET officers, and improving the capacity of pre-service teachers across all education levels. Portfolio Minister Favour Williams says the transformation of the sector will continue for another 6 years to ensure all Jamaican children receive access to high-quality education.
When we look at it, we figured it would be over a period of time. So of course, we're going to have to persevere We need to stick with it, because that's the only chance we have to give each and every Jamaican child access to the high-quality education that they deserve.
Meanwhile, ETOC has contracted the Mona School of Business to conduct a comprehensive review of the Ministry of Education and Youth. ETOC Chairman Dr. Adrian Stokes explained that the aim is to provide the committee with recommendations that will lead to a modernized, fit-for-purpose ministry.
As the transformation work unfolds, there will be need to increase the talent pool at the MOEY to give it the capacity to pull off what is indeed a massive overhaul of the education sector. ETOC urges the leadership at the ministry to proactively plan for this eventuality to eliminate bottlenecks.
ETOC has been charged with monitoring the implementation of the 365 recommendations contained in the Jamaica Education Transformation Commission report. Dr. Stokes reiterated ETOC's commitment to improving educational outcomes on the island.
Some of the work being done in transformation will begin to show results in the long term, medium to long term. We are taking the time to build a stronger foundation that will deliver better outcomes in key areas like early childhood education.
The island can expect a normal supply of bananas and plantains by February 2025. That's the assurance coming from Agriculture Minister Floyd Green. The sector was devastated by the passage of Hurricane Beryl in July. However, Minister Green says the state has allocated an additional $38 million to support banana and plantain farmers operating on less than 0.2 hectares. 500 eligible farmers have already been identified for support.
At least 73 of our major banana farmers lost over 50% of their crops. Normally it takes 7 to 9 months for our banana crops to recover. We have started work. We did an initial allocation of $40 million through the banana board that has reached about 2,300 banana farmers. And what we do is that we provide them with fertilizer, right? And we put them on a 6-week regime for them to try and bring back those crops. So that is happening apace.
Minister Green says detailed assessments have revealed that $1.8 billion is needed for the island to fully recover from Hurricane Beryl, which damaged 64% of crops in production. The National Housing Trust, NHT, is urging homeowners to prioritize insurance coverage to safeguard against natural disasters such as hurricanes and earthquakes. Speaking with JS News, Assistant General Manager for Corporate Communications and Public Affairs, Dwayne Burbick, said the need for insurance transcends the status of homeowners.
Meteorologists rather can predict as best as possible the path of hurricanes, but even us in Jamaica, we've seen that trajectory change at the 11th hour. So because we do not know, I think the takeaway again is to ensure and to impress upon our homeowners, and I'm not just talking NHT homeowners now, because the hurricane don't choose, your status when it's coming or the earthquake.
Currently, the NHT offers peril insurance coverage to homeowners whose mortgages are solely held with the organization. This is included in the monthly mortgage payments.
We're happy to say too that we a few years ago looked at the facility, and we extended to those individuals who have even completed paying their NHT mortgage, but perhaps want to continue the arrangement with us that we have in place.
Homeowners interested in extending their insurance coverage after closing their mortgage are encouraged to contact the NHT. And finally, 24 additional units are being constructed under the Indigent Housing Program by the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. Portfolio Minister Desmond McKenzie gave the update during a tour of markets in St. Anne recently.
We are waiting for some more funds so we can roll out an additional 20 units that will take the amount that we'll be doing in this financial year to about 50 units. So we are pleased about that program.
The program is designed to address challenges experienced by the poor and most vulnerable citizens in acquiring homes. Meanwhile, Minister McKenzie said several houses have been constructed and are slated for handover to beneficiaries.
We have houses in St. Thomas to be handed over, Westmoreland, in Clarendon. We have a number of houses. Almost every day there is a genuine request that is coming in for more indigent housing solutions across the country. We're going to continue with it, and we're going to be expanding more on it.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.
Motorists, please look out for us when we're crossing the road.
Government is keen on building a more inclusive society where everyone benefits from the public good. We now turn the page of Jamaica Magazine for an example of this work as we learn how blind, visually impaired, and other print-disabled persons are getting accessible books and other materials of knowledge and information to empower themselves.
It allows for social inclusion, it allows for cultural inclusion, it allows for educational inclusion.
Fertile grounds are brewing for the empowerment of persons with disabilities as a long-standing book famine faced its existential end. That's thanks to Jamaica's accession to the Marrakesh Treaty.
Basically, what it does is it allows for the creation of accessible format books without being an infringement of the Copyright Act. In our instance, in Jamaica, it would be an infringement of the Copyright Act.
This accession to the Marrakesh Treaty on the 28th of August 2024 enables access to published works as well as the production and exchange of copyrighted materials in formats such as Braille, large print, and audiobooks.
Something that most of us take for granted. We want to read something, we go to a store, we buy the books. We want to read something that we don't want to purchase, we go to a library to access it. It's not that easy for everybody.
Such has been one of the biggest setbacks for persons who are visually impaired, blind, and other print-disabled individuals without accessible format knowledge material.
If somebody wrote a book and it is a printed book, you're not supposed to put it into another format without the permission of the author.
The Marrakesh Treaty changes that, enabling access to published works as well as the production and exchange of copyrighted materials in formats such as Braille, large print, and audiobooks.
It allows visually impaired, print-disabled persons and organizations acting on their behalf to create accessible format copies without needing permission from copyright holders.
Jamaica went beyond the scope of the treaty to ensure the copyright exceptions also benefit individuals with hearing disabilities as it changed the copyright law to include the provisions of the treaty.
Less than 1% persons with disabilities in Jamaica are employed, and individuals with disabilities face significant barriers to education, primarily due to the lack of accessibility of material for them to learn from. And the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce, we're very happy to be the ministry, Jamaica's business ministry, to take this into the community and to make sure that legal impediment is now removed by us accessing the Marrakesh Treaty.
The World Intellectual Property Organization, which is a United Nations body, established the Marrakesh Treaty on June 23 of 2013. Jamaica is the 7th Caribbean country to enhance access to published works for persons with disabilities by acceding to the Marrakesh Treaty.
It allows for cross-border exchange. So what that means is, if, for example, and our neighbors to the north are both parties to this treaty, so both Canada and the United States, they have several works in accessible formats. So with a cross-border exchange, we're allowed now to import those books, and it's not an infringement of copyright. So we have a wide, the famine now can be addressed fully because there are all these works that are available. And the World Intellectual Property Organization has an area called the Accessible Books Consortium. And under the Accessible Books Consortium, they facilitate this cross-border exchange. So we will be actively working with the Accessible Books Consortium of the World Intellectual Property Organization.
Jamaica's decision to join the Marrakesh Treaty is a reaffirmation of the commitment to foster an inclusive society where access to information and knowledge is recognized as a fundamental right for all.
The Marrakesh Treaty will have a profound impact on the lives of persons with disabilities, on the lives of our children who are desirous of being in school, allowing our educational institutions not to be limited in terms of the books and information that they will provide and how they will engage with our children who have varying disabilities. No longer can persons say that the materials are not available or we do not have, the wherewithal to provide same.
The Copyright Act now has authorized bodies which are legally allowed to facilitate the cross-border exchange of published books and works in accessible formats for the disabled community.
So it's not just the ordinary person who can do the cross-border exchange. They have to go through one of these authorized bodies. So it is a system that has parameters in place. So it's not just a free riding system, but it is a safe system so that those who need to get access will have access. And what the Marrakesh Treaty has done has made it now possible for anybody who is blind or visually impaired to decide, okay, this is an area I want to pursue. I can get the books. I don't need to wait on somebody to come and read to me. I now can take out my own book and do my reading on my own and prepare and become a part of my chosen profession.
Just think of our students who are blind, Salvation Army School for the Blind, and those who have been integrated in other schools across Jamaica. They have had to either depend on others or go without or wait for study groups, to really get the material that they need.
The Marrakesh Treaty, bridging the gap, ending the global book famine, experienced by persons who are blind, visually impaired, and otherwise print disabled, having access to less than 10% of published works globally. Learn more by visiting the Jamaica Intellectual Property Office website at jipo.gov.jm or call them at 876-946-1300.
Lowering the sodium content in children's diets today can help prevent heart disease later in their life, especially for those who are overweight. Shake the salt habit, shop smart and cook smart. Use less or no salt when cooking. Try using fresh herbs and seasonings to add more flavor. Limit the consumption of salty snacks. Take the time to carefully read the nutrition labels on food products to identify those high in salt and choose the healthier options. Remember, no more than 2 grams of salt per day from all food sources for children under 11 years of age.
Come with us on this next leg of our Jamaica Magazine journey to learn about some of the assistive devices that enable disabled persons to be more independent and improve the quality of their life.
I'm Dion Jennings, Chief Technical Director assigned to the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities. When we protect, promote, and secure the rights and well-being of persons with disabilities, we move closer to realizing Jamaica's Vision 2030 goals, that of fostering inclusion, independence, access, and full participation of persons with disabilities in all spheres of national development. The Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, under the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, is charged with the responsibility for implementing policies and programs for persons with disabilities. The JCPD, through the Ministry of Labour and Social Security, will continue to provide support to persons with disabilities to access assistive aids and adaptive devices to enable their independence in their everyday life.
What is a hearing aid?
A hearing aid is a small electronic device that someone who has a hearing loss uses.
Are there different types of hearing aids?
There are different types of hearing aids, and usually they are associated with the type of hearing loss that you have. The behind the ear can be used by anyone who has any levels of hearing loss, from a mild to a profound level. Then you have a receiver in the canal hearing aid, basically for persons with a mild to moderately severe hearing loss. They may have a bud, and if you have a greater loss, then a custom-made mold is attached to the RIC hearing aid, which is a receiver in the canal. Then you have an in-the-ear hearing aid, again, that is used by persons who have a mild to a profound hearing loss. Then you have in-the-canal hearing aid. That is used by persons, again, who have a mild to a moderately severe hearing level. The last hearing aid that we have is called the completely in the canal, and that is used for persons with a mild to moderately severe hearing loss.
Tips to care for hearing aids.
There are different types of hearing aid, and all of them are taken care of the same way, in the sense that they all use a battery, and you're not to use any liquid on the hearing aids. So there is a brush that normally comes with the product that you will clean off any wax or any moisture. Use it on a piece of tissue or a soft rag, and you take out the wax out of the openings of the hearing aid. So this is an in-the-ear hearing aid, and so this is taken care of by putting in the battery here, and then you remove it, leave the battery door open, put down in the case, and then if you have a behind-the-ear hearing aid, it's basically the same way. You have the battery door, and you remove the battery, you have the brush, you clean around the tips of the hearing aid, and you clean by the opening of the hearing aid, and you do not use any cleaning agent on the hearing aids. Also, at the tip of the hearing aid, you may have what is called a hair clear, and that is replaced whenever it is blocked with wax. So you put that on the tip of the hearing aid, and you insert it on the opening of the hearing aid so that it protects the hearing aid from excessive wax getting into the instrument itself. And then you remove this and you discard this as well. And that is basically all you have to do to take care of your hearing aids. Do not swallow the battery for the children. Do not leave it out for the animals to come and play with them. And you open the drawer, put it in its case, leave it open so that if there's any moisture in the hearing aid, it can evaporate. So parents, guard the hearing aid, protect them from any excessive moisture. So no cleaning of alcohol, no cleaning agent, no bleach or anything like that. Just when you remove it from your ears, like this, you take it out You open the battery drawer, remove the battery, and you put it down in the case. And basically that's all you have to do to take care of the hearing aid that you have.
Where can I get information or help?
More information and help is available at the Jamaica Association for the Deaf, located 9 Morisco Road with entrance on Caledonia Lane in the Kingston 5 area.
What is a wheelchair?
A wheelchair is a chair with wheels used when walking is difficult or impossible due to illness, old age, or disability.
Are there different types of wheelchairs?
Yes, there are different types of wheelchair. Actually, you have 3 types: standing wheelchair, electrical wheelchair, and manual wheelchair.
Tips to care for wheelchairs.
Some tips for caring for the wheelchair are: 1. To remove all dust from the wheelchair frame by using a damp cloth. 2. Check the tires to ensure that they are still hard. Use a bicycle pump to add air if necessary.
A production of the Jamaica Council for Persons with Disabilities, a department of the Ministry of Labor and Social Security.
Breast cancer affects millions of women and men each year. Yes, even males. As we celebrate Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we encourage you to screen for the disease. This includes self-examinations and mammograms. Remember, early detection saves lives.
Attention all primary school students! The JIS invites you to participate in our 2024 Heritage Essay Competition highlighting the theme, Out of Many, One People. In only 400 to 500 words, discuss how our different cultural, ethnic or religious groups have contributed to building a stronger Jamaica. Essays must be written in standard English and have at least one reference from a JIS source. There are prizes to be won. Get creative, share your ideas, and make your voice heard. Submit your essay by Thursday, October 31, 2024. Be sure to visit jis.gov.jm for the competition guidelines. Your words can help shape Jamaica's future. Start writing today.
Our half-hour journey through the pages of Jamaica Magazine ends right here for today. But please join us again tomorrow on the same station for more news, features and information you can use. In the meantime, visit our website, jis.gov.jm for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Until next time, do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.